from everyone here at Newzroom Africa, of course, sending our condolences all the way up to England as well, to the family and friends of the Guardiola family. From now, though, we keep the conversation in COVID-19. In fact, we bring it back home to speak to a Bull star, Abongile Nonkontwana, joining us live on Skype tonight. Abs, thank you very much for your time tonight. We appreciate it as always. We've had a couple athletes on the show over the last couple of days, and I imagine the difficulties that they have spoken about during this lockdown is probably what you're experiencing as well. Take us through your thoughts as to what has happened to you thus far during the lockdown. How have you been dealing with this?
Yeah, thanks for having me on your show. Yeah, it's been a tough time. I mean, our competition got cut in the middle, and we had to come back to South Africa and quarantine ourselves. And at the moment, we all indoors and just training from our isolation.
Abongile, what's been the word from the club, perhaps from the overall competition? Because we know a lot of these events are obviously hanging in the balance based on what will happen with the coronavirus. So there's no complete cancellation for many sporting events, yet everything seems to be put on ice. Does that make it even harder, not knowing whether or not, you'll be back on the field anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, I can't comment much on what's going to happen further. We haven't been notified exactly what will be the plan going forward, but our franchise has instructed us to keep fit, to keep training at our homes and making sure that we're ready to hit the ground when this pandemic has eased down.
We're seeing some wonderful footage of you getting a good workout in the gym. Tell us, how good of a workout can one really have at home? Do you have the facilities, the space, the opportunity to really test yourself as you would perhaps when you're on the field or perhaps at the Union Gym?
I must give credit to the Vodacom Bulls conditioning coach, Yakas. He made sure he prepped well for this lockdown. He called the players to come get some equipment from the gym. And I've got a bike myself at the back. I've got some elastic bands and some weights. So there's quite a lot you can do. You'll be surprised if you become innovative.
Now, Abs, tell me, you're obviously still a very young man. We're looking forward to watching you play rugby for many, many more years to come. Have you taken a moment to just sit back and think about what is taking place, perhaps not just from a sporting point of view, but from a global perspective as well? As a South African, you are forced to stay in your home. You are forced to lock down to avoid the spread of this virus. Have you taken time out of your day to think about how this may impact your life as not just your career going forward?
Yeah, true. I mean, when you get so much time on your hands, you start thinking, which we are encouraged in the sport of line we're in, to make sure that you prep after rugby, and that's where you get time around this lockdown to grow your knowledge and start prepping for darker days, because it is tough. It is tough when you've been stopped from doing what you love doing.
Have you also given some thought to the idea as to how long this may be? We spoke about how difficult it is to put some time to it, but as a professional rugby player, what would have happened perhaps if you were not to be allowed out of your house or back onto a rugby field for the next couple of months? Psychologically, I'm sure that will certainly have its toll.
Yeah, true. I think, it's hard to put on a date and time how long this will take. We just got to play it out and take the instructions from the government and make sure we keep fit. And when the opportunity arises, you make sure that you're ready to do it. And I think it's also for us in a short-term career a good call to just realize if rugby was taken away from you, what else could you branch off to?
Abs, have you had a chance to speak to some of your teammates? How are they dealing with this? I imagine that an incident like this, an event like the coronavirus, certainly impacts different people differently. How are some of your teammates dealing with this?
I think we've been keeping a very positive vibe on our WhatsApp group chat. Guys showing videos of themselves braaiing, working out, cracking some jokes. Because in a time like this, you've got to try to keep positive and not let it stress you out and drive you into depression. So I think the boys have been doing well and cracking jokes, just making sure that we've got our hopes high and making sure that we're doing our part and holding each other liable for staying indoors and making sure that we abiding by the laws.
Well,